Hello and welcome back to another episode. It's been a while and I'm sick. I don't know if you can hear it. But you know what? It's been a month since I recorded, even though last episode was a week ago. But that was already recorded. I guess pre-recorded or something? Anyways, I'm back. I'm gonna try and upload videos more frequently. Get this, story done. Because I really want to see how Danny's story goes, and I want to kick myself for taking forever to sit down and have the time to make a video. It's kind of late, so I'm gonna try not to be way too loud, but then also not to be too quiet. Anyway, with that said, let's continue on with Chapter 3, Paranormal Mysteries Club. I was pretty sure I was dreaming, but it was cold and pitch black. There was no sound, no sensation. I tried to move, but it was as if the darkness was weighing me down. I tried to scream, but there was nothing. I couldn't hear the sound of my own voice. I couldn't even feel myself screaming. As I waited for any sign, any sound or hint of light, I slowly became aware of the fact that I was running. A slow tingle of sensation began to creep back. My feet were crashing through what felt like underbrush. The cold prickle of wet pine needles jabbed into me as I ran. I have to find. But find what? I didn't know. Inwardly, I screamed at myself to stop running. No, not yet, not yet. It was my voice speaking, but it wasn't me. I sounded raspy and weird, and I didn't even know what I had meant by that. Finally, I came to a halt. My hand reached out to steady myself against something. I felt scratchy bark against my skin. The moment I touched it, reality came crashing back. Or rather, it felt like I went crashing from nothingness back into reality. Oh my gosh. She does not have the best of luck. Oh my god. Ugh. Just gasping like that made me want to cough. Oh my god, she just moved into a new town and everything, and now she's just sleepwalking into the forest. I expected to wake up in my bed in a cold sweat, but when I came to, I was standing up. I wasn't even in my room, much less in my bed. I was in the middle of the woods, surrounded by trees on all sides. Panic rose in my throat. Did I do it again? That strange sensation of crashing back into reality was both eerily familiar and terrifyingly nostalgic. I had felt it before. How long have I been gone this time? It was thudding uncomfortably as I looked around and listened for search parties. It was probably stupid to immediately assume I had been missing for weeks already, but it's not like it would have been unprecedented. There was only silence. I wasn't sure whether I should have been relieved or not, but at the very least, I must not have been gone long. But now what? It was dark but coldless. Wow, coldless. It was dark, but it was coldless. Cloudless. I was in a bit of a clearing, so the moon lit up my surroundings pretty well. I turned, trying to get my bearings. To my great relief, I saw the warm glow of lights through the trees, only a short distance away. Was I just sleepwalking, or something? That had never happened before, especially not to the point that I ended up outside. I took a deep breath and started making my way back toward the lights. It was freezing, and before I stopped to contemplate any major questions about the current situation, I needed to get back home. I would worry about the sudden sleepwalking problem after that. Ooh. Girl, better run home. Jeez. Something in the distance let out a long howl. A shiver crawled up my spine as I looked anxiously over my shoulder. Coyote, maybe? That sounded like a wolf. It was ways off, but still too close for comfort. Well, I don't know. Where I live, there have been coyote sightings at night. Kind of scary. Even though they're not that big, but still, I wouldn't want to be around one. But I never heard them, so I don't know, like, what kind of sound they make. But that sounded like a wolf. Maybe. I carefully picked my way through a little gully, wincing as I found a blackberry vine I hadn't been looking for. Ow, ow, ow! It managed to wrap itself around both legs in no time. Thorns jabbed at my fingers as I tried to pry it off in the dark. The sudden crackle of underbrush off to one side immediately put my heart in my throat. What was that? I strained to see into the shadows. It might have been just a deer, but this area did apparently have black bears. Not to mention things like cougars. Everything went silent again. I was thinking of making a break for the lights. They were maybe 40 yards away and up a little hill. I could make it. Suddenly a shadow moved. Oh my gosh. This is like the worst place to be. Oh my god, there's black bears, cougars, the shadows moving, and you know, also like supernatural creatures that exist. This is horrible. I tried to make out the shape, but it was deep in the trees, beyond the moonlight. To my relief, it looked like it was moving away from me. Okay, that's good. But when it suddenly broke into a run... What? What? I was almost certain I glimpsed something person-shaped. Someone else was out here too? Who? Were they watching me? Oh, that would freaked me out. If I was just like in her situation and like just alone and suddenly I see a shadow running away. That would just scare me so much. Like, what the hell? Especially when, like, you know, when it is dark outside and you're alone. So it's just like, that's just really weird to see. We're not gonna follow the shadow, we're just gonna run for the house. I didn't stick around to find out who that was. I yanked myself away from the blackberries and broke into a staggering run toward the lights. My feet were going to be a mess, but if the rest of me was safe, that's all that mattered. I could live without feet. I'd drag myself if I have to. I didn't know where the shadow went. It was gone in no time, unsurprisingly. They had shoes, I assumed. I didn't, and the woods barefoot running was more like frantic, pain-filled hopping. But in a few minutes I broke through the trees and found myself not far from my house. The lights I'd seen through the trees were from Iliad's back porch. Thank goodness. The back gate had been left wide open. I must have come out through there. From the looks of it, I was right. I hadn't been gone long. The lights were still off inside. Fortunately, I woke up before I got too far away. I let myself back into the yard, quietly creeping to the house and into the partially open back door. It was so weird knowing I had to have come this way, but I didn't remember any of it. It wasn't like it was unusual for me, but I just could not afford to start this stuff up again. As I was shutting the door, I heard the sound of a soft movement behind me. I spun round, startled. He just looks so unimpressed. Like, every time he just sees her, he's just like, oh, you. Spencer was there at the bottom of the stairs. I could barely make his face out in the dim light from over the stove. Oh my god, I did like a really obnoxious voice for him. I don't know if I should do it. Do I want to put my voice through that straight? It was not really much, it was just so stupid, but... Oh my god, like, it was funny, because he annoys me. It's like, I feel bad, but then it would also be awkward, because, like, can you imagine it was, like, a serious situation, and then he just, like, has that weird-ass voice I gave him. It's like, I couldn't take the scene seriously at all. Oh my gosh, I'll give him a normal voice. Oh my gosh, I really don't want to It was funny while it lasted, but it's gonna be awkward if it's like serious emotional moments, or like it'll kill the mood if like it was serious moments and then he just has that voice. Okay, what are you doing? I love her face. Oh, I love her face so much. I stepped out for some air, couldn't sleep. I was about to tell him I'd gone for a little sleep in the woods that night. I padded across the kitchen and tried to get up the stairs, but Spencer blocked my way. That's all you were doing? Yeah, that's it. Can you let me go to my room? I'm freezing. Wait a second. I had been doing the creepy sleepwalker thing and had to do some serious thinking about that, but what are you doing up? Look at him looking away. He can't even look us in the eyes. I heard you coming in. I thought it might be a burglar. Oh, well, it's not just me. And since I live here, could you move? He didn't look like he wanted to, but he finally stepped aside and let me pass. It wasn't until I shut the door to my room that I realized Spencer had been fully dressed and wearing shoes. Why was he fully dressed if he got up when he heard me come in? Then again, maybe he'd thrown his clothes on when he thought he heard someone downstairs. No one wanted to confront a potential thief in a t-shirt and boxers. I assumed. But I was way too tired to dwell on that, and before I could go back to sleep, I had to pick the thorns out of my feet, then disinfect the numerous cuts and scrapes that occupied me for far longer than I would have liked. I don't know why. What? I don't know why I was reading that. Like, I was so uncertain of what I was even reading. Oh my god, like, I was just like thinking, like, if she had like all these cuts and scrapes, like, that just looks suspicious. It's like, what were you doing outside? Like, if you wanted some fresh air and you somehow like came back as if you were in a battle. When I finally fell into bed, I didn't have any more answers about why I'd been outside than I did when I first woke up out there. And I wasn't sure if there was anyone I could tell about it, not without kicking up a fuss. And I really, really didn't want that. Before bed last night, and before my nighttime escapades in the woods, I probably said that wrong, fuck it, Allie and I had texted quite a bit about my less than exemplary first day at school. She had casually informed me that she would be driving me there and back for the foreseeable future. Or at least until I got my own car. Fortunately, she lived in the same neighborhood, so it wouldn't really be an inconvenience for her to stop by. The only drawback was that she usually had to arrive early because she did extra credit work in the office. It was mostly just filing and such, but it meant she had to be there quite a bit before class started, which meant I would have to loiter around the school with nothing to do for a little over half an hour. Oh god, who wants to go that early? I wasn't going to complain though, it could have been worse. I had to admit that I was kind of annoyed. Spencer basically won. He wouldn't have to drive me to school or put up with being anywhere near me anymore. But then Dad informed us that Spencer had lost car privileges for the next month. Dad would pick him up after school and drive him to the showroom for work, and the poor guy would have to catch the bus every morning. To add insult to injury, the car would sit unused the entire time since I'd be riding with Allie. She's not even going to use it. Too bad you left her at school, on purpose. I don't think you deserve to drive the car. I'm already going to be working for you for a month and doing all her chores. I get it, I'm sorry, just I had a bad day. The bitch don't even look sorry. Damn, he didn't even look sorry. That's not an excuse to leave your sister crying in the parking lot. They were already at it when I went downstairs. I tried to ignore the fight as I ate breakfast. It wasn't easy, especially with the look Spencer kept giving me, as if she would help you. Could not expect me to feel sorry for him. There was absolutely no way I would feel sorry for him. She just looks worried now. I mean, he was my brother, he was already being punished. Ugh. I tried to ignore that part of me that wanted to defend him. Should we defend him? Or should we ignore the argument? As much as I don't like him, I feel like, yeah, fine, let's defend him, and then maybe he will lay off. I hated myself for it, but I couldn't let him suffer. Dad, just let him use the car. I already have another ride. They both looked at me in surprise. I couldn't blame them. My defending him was probably the last thing they'd expected. Yesterday, you were pretty eager to see Spencer punished. Well, yesterday I was still mad, and I don't think he deserves... Well, and I do think he deserves the work he's getting. Because that was a lousy thing to do, Spencer. I sighed and gave up on breakfast, pushing my plate away. But, I mean, there's no point in the car just sitting there. It's cold, so it'll probably sap the battery, and that'll be a pain, and I don't know. He's going to suffer enough having to put up with you and Grandpa in the same room with each other every afternoon. Well, she's not wrong. Thank you, Courtney. That's helpful. I try. I still don't know how to do a mom's voice. How do I sound motherly? I don't know. Are you sure about this, Nora? I mean, you're the one he left there. I shrugged. It sucked, but it wasn't worth this. Besides, there was a part of me that I just didn't want to deal with him being even angrier at me than he already was. I'm fine with it, just let him use it. Dad mulled it over for a long time. If she's okay with it, why not let him use the car? It'll be a burden for everyone if you have to pick him up every day for a month. Fine, the driving part of your sentence is revoked, but the chores and work at the showroom stand. Spencer looked enormously relieved. He grabbed his books off the counter and immediately headed out the door, but he paused as he passed by the table. For the first time in a really, really long time, I felt his hand ruffling my hair. I looked up in surprise to see him give me a really sad look. Well, why are you looking sad at me? You're the one always being, like, rude. Thanks. And he was gone. I was kind of stunned. I was just rinsing my breakfast dishes when I heard Allie honking. Moments later, I ran out the door, still trying to pull on my jacket. Oh. So, I was thinking, a dangerous pastime. Haha, I'm not playing. Aw. Anyway, I was thinking that you should join my club. The one you were at yesterday? Man, it's so much nicer to ride with someone who isn't ignoring me. Yep, there are only a few girls in it. The only one who really shows up frequently is, well, she's kind of a bit catty. Oh, God. Don't tell me it's Kara. No. So you want me to join a club and deal with some other catty girl? I want you to keep me company. You'd fit in great. Give it a try. Please, in any case, if you're waiting for me to finish up every day, you might as well just join it instead of sitting around. Okay, that's a fair point. What is this club anyway? Paranormal Mysteries Club. I stared at her. She just like, girl, really? Paranormal Mysteries? The first things that came to mind when I thought of the paranormal were UFOs, phone psychics, and those cheesy websites with articles about Atlantis and dinosaurs living in the Amazon. Really? It's actually really fun. I eyed her skeptically. I was sure it was fun if you were into that kind of thing, but I couldn't imagine her believing that stuff. So what, you research Bigfoot or something? Do ghost hunts? Look for aliens? Well, not exactly, but you'll find out if you stop by. I promise you'll have fun. All those two guys who live next door to Elliot and Danny, they're both in it. Seriously? I don't think either of them will be into that sort of thing. I tried to imagine Danny getting excited over blurry videos of someone in an ape suit. It didn't compute. You'd be surprised. Just think about it, okay? It might not hurt to give it a try, I guess. Allie let out her characteristic squeal of excitement. It would be really annoying if it wasn't so completely adorable. When we reached the school, Allie went went to help in the office. I decided to stop by my locker before going to the library to read for a while. It was definitely still pretty early. There was almost no one around as I opened my locker door to grab my trig and chemistry books. I really hoped that things would go more smoothly than the day before. Yesterday morning had only been okay because of the stories hadn't spread that far yet, but by now everyone had heard them. Ooh. I heard a soft sigh and turned around immediately, expecting to see someone behind me waiting for me to get out of their way. Oh my god, it's like when you're just oh god, when someone's like slowly walking down the hall and you just sigh dramatically and just go past them. And there was no one there. I looked up and down the hall, but there was no one in sight. Okay, that was weird. I definitely heard something. Chewing my lip, I shut my locker door, still listening. Maybe it was a draft of some kind, but it really had sounded like a person. I shook my head and took a deep breath. It was probably just my imagination. I was on edge because of yesterday and last night. That was all. I headed for the school library. I wonder what sort of things they really do at the Paranormal Mysteries Club. Allie had said it was fun. When I got to the library was nowhere to be found, so I hid in a corner and read until the first bell rang. After that, I basically spent the morning thinking about Allie's club. She said Danny and Ilya were in it, but I didn't sit close enough to either of them in literature to ask about it. The only interesting thing about Trig was Corvin managing to fall into a knee-high waste basket. Corvin, how, Corvin? Chemistry was boring. Everyone had quickly realized Spencer would not engage, which meant they directed all questions at me, so I told them I had been kidnapped by Bigfoot and Elvis. I couldn't wait until that rumor got around the school, and I really hoped Kara enjoyed it. As soon as I reached the cafeteria, Danny ambushed me and insisted I have lunch with his group. Since it was better than eating alone, I didn't argue. Elliot was already waving at us from a table across the room, which made it even more impossible to say no. Danny led me over to where he and a few others were sitting. So, everyone, this is Nora. Ooh, was that how he did his voice? I made him sound like a stoner. I don't know if I like that. I don't like it. Maybe. Do I like that voice? I mean, I don't know if I'm doing it right now. Ugh. I shifted uncomfortably as all eyes were suddenly on me. Oh, the new girl everyone's talking about? Well, she is new anyway. Fuck. God, I'm sick. I can't do this. Oh my god, I can't do this. I love his face. He's just so shocked. Oh god, like, okay, I was wrong. The stoner voice, if it's his chillaxed look. You sitting here today, Nora? Yeah, looks like it. I was relieved that no one argued. They just moved their chairs around so I could sit sandwiched between Danny and Elliot. So, how do you know Danny? I looked over at the girl talking. I had no idea what her name was, but she had a nice smile. Well, I moved in next door. Oh, so you're neighbors then? I nodded. Yep, that's what moving in next door meant, pretty much. The boy who spoke leaned across the table and grinned. So all the things people are saying about you, are they true? James, come on, man. I was just asking. It's fine. And like I've told anyone so far, no, most of the things being said are speculated or not true. I really did get lost in the woods. I don't remember it. My brother was really attacked by what we think was probably a cougar or something while out looking for me. Yes, he injured one of his eyes. No, they're not sure how. It's actually nowhere near as mysterious as people tried to make it out to be. It was just sensationalized. Blah, fucking hell. Sensationalized at the time. All that happened was that I got lost and Spencer somehow hurt his eye. So, you really didn't see a murderer in the woods? Oh shit. That was her. Wait, did I? Okay, I'm trying to remember if they even had their names. She just sounds like a man now. She just sounded like a man now, okay. Reyna? Is that how it is? I think that's about as likely as encountering a Sasquatch. Maybe it was a serial-killing Sasquatch. I liked her. Well, aliens are also a popular theory. Serial-killing alien Sasquatch? Now that's just crazy talk. Everyone laughed, and I was just relieved the conversation didn't seem like it was going to be the usual interrogation. Oh, Elliot, man, I heard. Yeah, I definitely heard about, like, the Yesterday Club. The Yesterday Club? I read about something yesterday that your club totally should investigate. Oh? That squash? What? The hell's a bass squash? You know, like giant bats. Wait, why is it bat squash? If it's what? He gestured wildly as he started explaining the supposed creature to Elliot. Oh god, wait, no, I don't know the name for it. It's like, I think, what, in the Philippines? Is it in the Philippines? Where they have, that giant, like, it's like a giant bat, but it had like a long name with a like gold. No, I'm thinking like gold crown flying fox. I don't know, but like I know it had the name fox in the name, even though it was a bat. It's like a giant ass bat. Is that what like? Is that what he's talking about? But it's not really like supernatural. It's, you know, I think it's in the Philippines, but it's not really like supernatural. It's just very disturbing that those exist. I tuned him out and turned to Danny. So, I don't see Allie anywhere. I didn't see her yesterday either. Do you know if she eats somewhere else? Allie? Yeah, I don't think that she eats in the cafeteria. Ah, I see. That was disappointing. I guess it meant I couldn't have lunch with her. I wonder where she did eat. Maybe with the teachers or something, though I couldn't imagine that would be fun. But even if she wasn't around, Danny's friends weren't too bad. They were rowdy but really nice. I didn't usually like crowds much, but after yesterday it was a nice change of pace to be surrounded by friendly people. Speaking of the club, Allie mentioned she invited you to join it. Yeah, well... Haven't made up your mind about it? Well, I mean... I glanced back at James dubiously as he tried to convince Elliot that bat squash was a viable topic of study for the club. Do you really study things like that? Danny just laughed. No, not really. We do look into the paranormal, but I suppose it's a little more mainstream than bat squash. Mainstream? I wonder if that was more along the lines of ghosts and ESP instead of UFOs and unlikely mammals. There are a lot of oh shit. I thought that was like Nora. Fuck. I need to pay attention to who's talking. There are a lot of stories that have much more solid foundation beneath them than bat squash. How did I do that voice the last time? I'm trying to like do that again. I don't remember how I did that one voice. You don't think that maybe some folklore has a seed of truth to it? Oh god, I can't do it. I'm sick. I can't do it. I can't do that voice I did for him. I guess it depends on the folklore. I mean, if you take something like Vampires of Europe, a lot of people think that certain historical figures might have inspired some of those tales with their less than savory behavior. But if you're suggesting that the seed of truth is supernatural in origin, I'm not sure about that. But it does make for a potentially interesting study topic, right? I suppose it might. If Allie invited you, then you should consider taking her up on it. It might be nice to have a new member. Straining my voice towards the end there. No, seriously, we'd love to have a new member. Hey, that's not fair. I tried to join too, you know. And your president kept avoiding me until I finally ended up joining something else, and now my schedule is too full. I thought you didn't join because the club creeped you out. That's not it. I mean, it's kind of creepy though. I didn't even think the Mysteries Club accepted new members. Everyone I know who thought about joining ended up not doing it. We take new members sometimes. I think often people just decide they don't have time for it. Why do I sound like I'm in pain? I need to work on the ending of that voice. This is so weird. Oh, now they're making me kind of curious. And Danny's description actually did sound kind of interesting. At the very least, it was different than what I first imagined. I mulled it over for the rest of lunch, wondering just what kind of club it really was. By the time school let out, I was actually in a pretty good mood. As a bonus, the day had only had a few mildly annoying moments as opposed to the whole thing basically sucking. I was relieved by that for sure. Allie showed up at my class to get me, waiting by the door while I shoved all my stuff in my book bag. We made a quick pit stop by my locker before she insisted on taking me to the 4th floor to see the club. So, do you make up your mind yet? I mean, about trying out the club? You will, right? Well, I mean, you're kind of hurting me that way regardless. Yep. It's not like you have anything else to do. That's true. I'll just take a peek, okay? Alright, I'll make sure you'll like it. At the bottom of the stairs, I paused and looked up. I had been to the 2nd and 3rd floors, but never the 4th. I had heard it just had a bunch of empty classes. Even when I was here in middle school, everyone had said it was haunted. We started up together. Are all the high school clubs up on the 4th floor? No, there are only about like 5 others besides us. A lot of people prefer to use classrooms on the lower floors. Apparently it's creepy up here. I have heard that. I stopped at the top of the stairs, shivering slightly as I looked down the long hallway. It looked like just like the one downstairs, but I had to admit the atmosphere was different. Maybe it was because most of the lights were off, or maybe the air was just stuffy because no one really used the space much? It really did feel different though. Come on! Allie took my arm and pulled me down the hall toward one of the open classrooms. I stopped outside and peered in. No one else was there. The club room itself looked pretty boring actually. I was worried, especially after hearing how creepy people found it. Instead, it just looked like a really normal empty classroom. It wasn't creepy at all. Looks kind of mundane, right? Oh god. Did she just punch us? Oh no, she shoved us. It's just, did that sound like she just punched us? Like, fucking punch! Out of nowhere, Allie practically shoved me through the door and something happened. What? So, what do you think? What? Looks a lot bigger when you're inside it, doesn't it? I stared at her stacked jaw. She had the most infuriating, smug look on her face. Bigger? Yeah, it looks bigger and completely different. Where did all this stuff come from? I looked to the hallway. It looked as normal as ever. But the classroom was now brimming with furniture and decorations that had definitely not been in there when I first looked in. I rolled my eyes, though I'm not sure what I expected that to do. Was I dreaming? No, I mean, obviously I wasn't. But how? I shook my head and walked back out into the hall. It looks totally normal from out here, and... Allie? I couldn't see her anymore either. I burst back into the classroom, and there she was again, along with all the decor and furniture. I don't understand. What is going on? My head was spinning as I tried to work this out. Mirrors or something? It had to be mirrors or something, right? Eee, I knew you were one of us! She grabbed my hands and squeezed them, grinning at me happily. She's like the only one that's like, oh, I'm so excited, she's like me, and then Nora's just like, what the fuck is happening? Whoa, back up, one of what? I don't know who the hell that is. A paranormal or a cryptic. Some refer to us as supernaturals as well. Mark? It's like, are you really Mark? What? You sound uncertain. Wait, had he been there the whole time? He was standing in the corner by a large bookshelf, a book in hand, as he glared at me with the usual disdain. No, I know it's you, I have no clue what's going on here. He shot Allie a strange look and huffed an annoyed sigh as he snapped the book shut. She's probably still awakening, but I mean, she's obviously one of us. She's here, right? If she wasn't one of us, she wouldn't be able to see the club room. I studied Allie worriedly. Allie, you're kind of starting to creep me out. Why do you keep saying one of us? Like I've been inducted into some sort of creepy cult. Also paranormal cryptic? Okay, calm down. Take some deep breaths before your blood pressure gets dangerously high. I know this is confusing, but I can explain. Very amusing. I don't want to take deep breaths. I want to know what's going on. Okay, well, you're a logical person. Just put two and two together. Clearly this is a normal classroom, right? Well, yeah. There are two possible ways to explain what you've experienced. Science or magic, right? Science wasn't my forte for sure, but magic? I think I need to sit down. Allie helped me to the nearest sofa and Mark produced a glass of water from somewhere. For all I knew, he pulled it out of a hat. An imaginary hat. I don't see him wearing a hat. My head was spinning like crazy. Magic? Allie was not trying to tell me this was some kind of magic room, was she? Or even before that, she was trying to tell me that magic was real. Feeling better? Not really? Allie just laughed. I glared at her. This was not a laughing matter. I was having a crisis. Are you telling me that magic is a thing, a real thing? A thing that actually exists in a real practical way? Yes. And this room is magical? Yep. And I'm magical? Most likely. I stared at the door. I could see the hallway outside. It looked perfectly normal. There was nothing near the door that could explain what happened when I entered. No visible mirrors, cameras, or projectors. Heck, I couldn't even come up with a way it would be possible to do something like that with projectors and cameras. I took a deep breath and let it out slowly. At lunch, someone said that this club doesn't take new members much. This is a club specifically for supernatural members of the student body. Obviously, normal humans can't be permitted to enter. Typical humans can't see this room, not as it is. As you notice from outside, it looks like a normal empty classroom. From the inside, it still looks like a normal empty classroom to normal people. In fact, the spell on this from place actually repulses normal people, so they don't even want to enter it. A spell like a magic spell? Yep. Is this how Alice felt when she fell down the rabbit hole? Actually, I was pretty sure Alice handled that way better than I was handling this. I took a deep breath as I listened to Alice's explanation. This spell is designed to protect the club from discovery. It can alter memories, perception, or even the room's location if it needs to, all toward that end. I was still trying to get my head around all this. I mean, logically I knew none of this could be true, but here was Alice, someone I trusted and knew was down to earth, and she was telling me this was real. I mean, it was a prank, but I really didn't think Mark was the sort to play pranks. He's just like, talking shit about me? Based on our meeting the previous day, I was almost certain he didn't have a sense of humor, and Allie wouldn't do something like this to me. Not today. I looked up at her and she patted my head gently. So, I can see this room because I'm not normal. Oh my god, that's correct! You're not normal! Congratulations! What about you? Well, I'm a witch. The magic-using kind. I tilted my head slightly. Oh, okay. I actually hadn't expected that answer. Not sure what I did expect, though. You are wizard, Allie. Okay, let's assume for a moment that instead of thinking you're just insane, I believe you. How did you know I was a... what did you say? A cryptid? I mean, you invited me to the club this morning, so you already knew, right? Cryptic... oh, now Mark sounds like a girl. Cryptic is the word you're looking for. We're not animals. Cryptids are creatures that can't be proven with science, but cryptic is just a name some people adopted for us. It's shorter to say than paranormal or supernatural, so a lot of us go with it. Hey, unless there's a test on it, I'm not interested in vocabulary at the moment. Is she always this sarcastic? Usually it's worse when she's upset. It's sort of like a litmus you can use to tell how close she is to having a complete freak-out. Oh, I see. I'm right here, and what I'm interested in is how you knew I was a cryptic, or at least why you thought I was. Blood pressure! Ellie! Okay, calm down. The reason I knew was because of Corvin. Corvin. What does he have to do with it? Remember that book he dropped? Yeah, that weird, creepy one? It wasn't just a book, it was a grimoire. She was just like, bitch, what? Corvin was standing at the door as if he'd just come inside. Man, if this was a prank, they were really going all out. But at this point, I had a feeling that hoping it was just a prank was pointless. Mark's lack of funny bone aside, Allie didn't look like she was joking. And it's not creepy, by the way. Don't call someone's grimoire creepy. Hey, Cor. So, we were right about your friend? Well, you can see for yourself. Welcome to the Supernatural Mysteries Club. No. Welcome to the Paranormal Mysteries Club. Nora, right? As usual, he was pretty bubbly. He waved at me from across the room. Did you say it was a grimoire, like a magic book? That's right, and normal people can't see it. So when you so kindly wanted to pick it up for me, I knew you couldn't be a normal human. Thank you, by the way. That was nice of you. Did we, like, knock our heads with this? It's like he ran into us the first time we met, right? God, it's been a while. If I'm not normal, then what am I? A witch or something? And does this mean Spencer is magic too? Because I really don't think letting him have magic is a good plan. Who's Spencer? My brother. My very paranoid, emotionally delicate brother. While I was speaking, Corvin wandered over and sat on the table next to the sofa, and immediately overturned the glass of water Mark had given me. He jumped back... You're so dumb. He jumped back up as a cascade of water ran down his pants and down the arm of the couch onto my lap. Sorry. I was still too shocked by the whole magic thing to even react. Sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry? He looked around, presumably for something to wipe up the water with. I just sat there, staring at my soaked jeans dumbly. Ellie, perhaps you could... Don't worry, I've got it. And knowing yes that was, this should prove it to you, Nora. She flicked her hands toward me in a strange circular motion and chanted something under her breath. What? I felt an undeniable wave of warm air and looked down to find that my clothes were completely dry, as was the sofa. I patted my hands over my legs and wondered. There was no sign that they'd been soaked through only moments before. Whoa! That even dried my underwear. Creepy. Really, Allie? Come on. His pants were still soaked all down the front. Why are you so clumsy, Corvin? Why? What? How are you this clumsy? Maybe if you learn to actually read the mood for a change. It wasn't on purpose. Help a guy out. Air magic really isn't my forte. Cora made his best attempt at sad puppy eyes. With his puckered lips. Addie sighed and rolled her eyes before repeating the hand gesture and chanting she'd previously aimed at me. This time I saw something. It was kind of hard to describe. The air around Cora seemed to ripple and the water was suddenly just gone. This is real, isn't it? Allie turned back to me. I knew I was gawking up at her, but I couldn't help it. I mean, none of this was possible, except I was watching it happen. No mirrors, no tricks. This was the real thing. Oh my god. You're telling me that I can learn to do that kind of thing? Now that we don't know. There are a lot of different types of cryptics, not all of which have inherent magic, and we don't really know what type you are. There are many that are non-human. Wait, if I'm some kind of not-human thing, what about my family? You're saying my parents have basically been lying to me all this time? Not necessarily. Someone can be a cryptic without their family knowing. For instance, if they were infected by something that changed them. Like zombies? No, like vampirism or lycanthropy. Probably butcher that word. I am not a vampire. Wait, vampire? She's just like, No, you're most certainly not. Vampire? You fucking just over here like, no. No. Hey, why are you saying that in such a snooty way, mister? But infection isn't the only way for humans to acquire supernatural abilities. Aside from being born with innate magic, there are lots of reasons humans develop powers. Being a descendant from paranormal creatures is one reason, like having fey or elvish blood somewhere in your lineage. Elves? If you did, there's a good chance your parents wouldn't even know, depending how far back it was, and fey blood can lie dormant for generations before rearing its head again. He was talking to me about elves. I gripped my forehead tightly. I could almost feel my brain being crushed under the weight of all of this. What everyone is trying to get at is that there are lots of possibilities. If you've never demonstrated magic before, it's probably just developing right now. And probably for a reason similar to what Corvin just stated. So now you're telling me I'm not even human? I'm a fairy or something? Calm down, no one is saying that. We don't know anything for certain just yet. There are ways to find out though, so they just take time. I don't think I want to join this or be a part of this. I mean, suddenly being not even human, it felt gross just thinking of the idea that I wasn't even what I thought I was my whole life. I didn't like it. I caught that look the three of them shared. What is it? It's just that, well, you don't really get a choice. What? Just listen, if you think about it, logically, people like us can pose a huge threat to human society. If not, if not because we have unusual abilities, and because by now keeping this secret, we could disrupt things. There are other reasons as well, but those are the primary ones. As you can imagine, there are organizations in place to govern people like us, since normal law enforcement can't really do it. Organizations like government organizations that keep track of cryptics. So now that part of the reason this club exists is because we kind of help keep an eye on the cryptics in the school and town as a whole. I mean, there's more than just, wait, Danny and Elliot are in this club. That's right. So they are also cryptics, and there are quite a few others. Once we discover something new, we're obligated to report them and bring them into the club. The cryptic registration office lets students register through us because it's less stressful than having to go to the local agency. The people who don't cooperate with us have to deal with them directly. It's way better to deal with us. I mean, they're not dangerous or anything, but still. The agency is definitely not full of weirdos. You don't want to meet them. Oh, it's definitely full of weirdos. You don't want to meet them anytime soon. So I don't get a choice at all? Look, it sounds all scary, but it's not. Your world is about to become really amazing. And I think about it this way. What happened to you and Spencer as kids may be connected to this. That wasn't entirely impossible, actually. Remember when we were little, you, Spencer, used to always tell me about the things you saw in the woods? We were just playing though. Were you? I ran my hand over my face, thinking about that. It was so long ago, my memories were understandably fuzzy. I remember that Spencer and I had been imaginary friends. I was imaginary friends with my twin. No, Spencer and I had imaginary friends. Sometimes they would come and talk to me at night, and was it possible that was actually real? Then, when I vanished, when Spencer was attacked, the things they said back then. We can help you research that, maybe find some answers, maybe find a way to help Spencer and fix whatever broke there. You really think I could do that? Sure, if you learn about yourself, surely you'll learn something about your twin as well. Oh, okay, so we have the choices here. Okay, this is like a lot for Nora to take in. Just like, oh, you know, want to join a club? Want to join the volleyball club? No, this isn't in the anime. Oh god, in the swimming club. Oh my god. There's like a lot, and then there's like, you're not human. You're cryptic. So you're something, Nora. Oh my gosh. This is a lot of information for her though, like, kudos to her for like, just sitting there and like absorbing everything and taking it all in. I feel like, oof, I feel like I would need a breather. Yeah, you said my family might not be cryptic, so I don't think those answers have anything to do with this. Like, all those so-called imaginary friends, then gonna go with the first. You said even if I'm a cryptic, it doesn't mean my family is. That's right, cryptics have weird genetic quirks. Oh my god, quirks. God, no, stop. I'm gonna stop. Because I was over here, like, ready to be like, My Hero Academia? No, I'm gonna stop with all the anime references, jeez. Like I said, with certain types of blindage, it's possible that no one will even have the slightest affinity for magic, or exhibit any cryptic traits for decades. Then it suddenly pops up again in one person in one generation as strong as when it was first injected into the bloodline. That's why something like that might be more probable for you than just spontaneously developing magic, though that does happen too, rarely. So that means it's just me. I'm the only one that's different. Not necessarily. You are twins after all, it's just that given his personality, we might want to approach him more consciously. This is all way too much. I stood up and gave Allie a shaky smile. I think I need some fresh air. Nora. Just for a few minutes, please. I just can't absorb all this at once. I stepped around Mark and Corbin, heading for the door. The room felt like it was closing in around me. I had to get out of there and get back to reality for a few minutes. I could contemplate the implications of all this in a place that didn't make me feel like I'd been carted off by a tornado to some strange place and should expect singing munchkins to appear soon. I didn't even know where I was going. Just away from here. Someone stepped through the doorway just as I tried to leave. Can you please move? My words trailed off to a terrified squeak when I looked up at the boy I was speaking to. He had no. My vision blurred and my entire field of vision narrowed in on the empty space above his shoulders and the gaping hole where his neck should connect to his head. Stunned, I turned back to Allie, though I don't know what I intended to say. My airways constricted, and for a moment I forgot how to breathe. My knees started to go all wobbly, and I knew I was about to hit the floor. Nora! I think I'm going to pass out now. That's the last thing she says. I'm gonna pass out now. And with that, everything went black. Wow. We made it to chapter 4. Under the bridge. So yeah, that was a lot. This chapter 3 was just a lot of information. Basically, like, a revelation of, you're not human, Nora, you're actually some kind of cryptic. And then just kind of like, this is what cryptics are, the different kinds, this is what we are, I'm a wizard. It's like a lot. It's like, I'm a wizard, Nora. and then just explain how her family could not be cryptics. They could be human. Spencer might be a cryptic. Don't know. It's a whole different case to deal with. But yeah, not a lot of interesting things going on in this chapter. It was more like, again, a lot of information, like, oh, let's talk more about the supernatural world. These are the different kinds of species that exist. There's some kind of agency, government that contains the laws and make sure everything is in place. Hopefully, next chapter 4 could be more interesting. Like, there's actually more going on. Like, the story is making progress. But yeah, again, sorry if this was a bit boring. Not much, a lot of like information dump and stuff, and just getting acquainted with, again, the supernatural community. Nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you want to see more of this game, please subscribe. Or not, it's totally fine. Hopefully you guys could hear me. It's like I'm sick and I'm trying not to be too loud because it's like late. So hopefully the audio is okay. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully. Bye!